none other do we have the one of the dopest cover artists in general, hip hop artists. If you haven't seen and or heard his music videos and listened to his music, he is an a renaissance man, as they call him. So I got to catch up with him during Heroes Con in North Carolina a couple of weeks ago, and I said, "Hey, brother, can I get you on the con?" He said, "Of course. Let's get together." And then we finally made it happen. So this is Javan Illest Uminati Jordan. He's a national touring hip hop artist, comic book writer, and published cover artist. Javon's stage name, Illest Uminati, has shared stages, toured, and recorded with some of the biggest names in hip hop, including T.I., Bone Thugs, E40, Strange Music, and more. He is the writer and creator of the hit independent one shot Hail Crow, King of Hell. I have the metal copy of it, and the crowdfunded series, The Salve. I never, did I say it right,
What's
Javon?
up,
The
baby?
Salve
Savage, yeah.
and Dead End. And Javon has also made a name for himself, creating some of the most brilliant comic book covers and concepts over the last year, including variants for Image Comics, Boom Studios, IDW, Dynamite Entertainment, AWA, and Source Point Press on titles such as Department of Truth, which he has iconic covers of, House of Slaughter, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, which I was able to cop this a couple of weeks ago, and then Vampirella. Last time I saw him at the con, he was on eBay Live doing his thing and working his magic. So I appreciate you coming through. Everybody, give a round of applause to Javan Illest Uminati Jordan. Yes, indeed, he is in the building. Javon, it sounds like you probably need one of them WWE belts.
I need one.
Yeah, for sure. Thank you for coming, man. So for people who don't know you, which is probably folks living under rocks, tell people a little about who you are, where you come from, and you know, what really started this venture into comic books, into the medium of music, and so on and so forth.
So I come from the Pacific Northwest. I was raised on like a little Native American reservation and moved around Washington State. I've been in the music industry for about, I would say since I was 18, so I don't even want to say it, but damn near 20 years. Uh, you know what I'm saying? And I originally got into it like my foot in the door doing artwork for a bunch of people. Like I've done stuff for Snoop Dogg, uh, Kendrick Lamar's label, Strange Music, and I kind of, it was kind of easy to get my foot in the door. Like I'll do this for you. You let me come rock this or whatever. You know what I mean? So that really helped, I think, so that I never wanted to be one of those dudes that was like a freeloader. I always wanted to put my put my craft into whatever I do and help build myself up while also being able to rock the stage and stuff like that. And then yeah, so I did uh like album art, flyers, tour posters, tour backdrops and stuff like that for years and years, and all while I was buying comic books, collecting comic books. And then one day it just hit me. I was just like, man, I should probably just uh feel my or what they say it like fuel my hustle, you know what I'm saying? So I can
Yeah,
afford
for sure.
comic books, you know what I mean? Like, so I'm not just spending all my money in comic books, so I can like have a have a pot that I'm, creating comic book art to buy comic books for, you know what I mean? Like if
Yeah.
anyone knows, I'm a huge comic book collector. I've been collecting comic books since I was probably 6 or 7.
Wow.
And so it all kind of worked out. It all kind of just landed in place, and I just been rocking the comic book covers and writing ever since.
That's what's up, man. So let's talk about the music because you have your hands in a lot of stuff. You have your own company. How does that feed you and your creativity? Because I think that what I love about you is the fact that you're multi-layered. You have a lot of different, like you said, entrepreneurialism in your blood. You're always hustling. So talk about the music part. How does that invigorate you and fuel you?
To me, it's all art. You know what I mean? Like
Mm.
writing lyrics, and the homies producing beats. It's all art. So I think it all. I identify as art. You know what I mean? Like no matter what it is, it's
Yeah.
just art. And then the hustle just comes from being a young and starving, or needing the new Nikes. You know what I'm saying? I've always been hustling, trying to figure out a way to get some money in my pocket. So
Yeah.
it's worked out.
Well, you got somebody by the name of Damon Gillespie, aka Game, who said, "I love his song Vampirella." Uh,
Hey, thank you, brother.
yeah, going on to your music, your YouTube, all the stations. It's been really cool to really immerse myself. I met you in cons. I've seen you in various ways, and then being able to jump into the music piece. I was just really floored at how multi-talented. That was pretty awesome. And so, the like you said, you're an artist, period. And
Yeah.
so, how did I see the influences in your comic book art, especially around the hip hop. Some of the covers that you've created have been like iconic covers, or even for folks who don't know, I'm a Gen Xer, so even that Department of Truth Nirvana joint, that thing is like legendary. So talk about those influences and how hip hop really has been able to kind of you've been able to kind of carve out, I think, a niche area that people aren't touching on, around hip hop and comic books.
I mean, I feel like I came into the comic book game at the right time. You know what I mean? I feel like I definitely try to put on for the culture. That's like my main goal is to put on for the culture. You know what I mean? I know hip hop's for everyone. You know what I'm saying? But the people that run comic books is not everyone. You know what I mean? And
Mhm.
I don't want to get into race or nothing, but we all know it's ran by old white dudes. You know what I mean? So I just
Yeah,
try to come in and just do it for us. You know what I mean? For the culture and I think it's sticking. Obviously we all love comic books. Everyone loves comic books, so we just needed
yeah,
our own little niche.
yeah. I think one of the current Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles that I bought from you a couple weeks ago, the Biggie homage one, that was tight. So for folks who didn't see it or
I still can't believe
got to get it,
Miller
I
didn't
don't.
let us drop that one.
Yeah, right. When I saw it, I was like, yeah, let me cop that one. But that's the type of influence I think that you have currently in the industry. The fact that they dropped it and were like, yeah, let's do it. That's a huge, I guess, nod to your expertise in your craft, man. That's a major win. Especially like you said, most of the industry is being run by white guys, old white guys, right?
Yeah.
Um, so, what do you see the current state of affairs of comic books, as we start to diversify and become much more, I don't want to say much more of a consumer base, especially us old heads, the Gen Xers, especially, but even hip hop heads, people who are really connected to the hip hop world. What do you see this going, this
I
comic
think
book? Mm,
independent I think is really the only way to go nowadays. I always tell people like people are always like, obviously, if I could do a Spider-Man cover, I would. You know what I mean? Like if given the opportunity. But I'm always like, like I could do the coolest Spider-Man cover that has ever existed in the entire world ever. Everyone would be in love with it. But would I ever own a piece of Spider-Man?
yeah,
Never. They're not gonna
yeah,
give me no piece of
no
Spider-Man.
way. Yeah,
You know what I mean? So I think people need to just be more independent focused and work on their own books. It's always good to dream big and if the opportunity presents itself, take full advantage of it. You know what I mean? But until then, just work your tail off on your own IPs, get your own brands going, because you then be your own boss. You know what I mean? You don't have to listen to anybody. You don't have to take artistic criticism from anyone. You just do you and do what you want to do.
so is that something that you learned, through bumps and bruises, or just things that you saw in the industry and artistry period about earning your, or basically owning your own stuff?
So I feel like I could never have a boss. That's my whole thing. Is like there's like no way I could listen to some other dude trying to tell me what to do. Dude or female. It's just not in me. I'm like a free spirit. I like to just flow and just if I want to do something, I'm gonna do it. If I don't want to do it, I'm not gonna do it. If I want to take
Yeah.
a nap, I'm gonna take a nap. You know what I mean? So it's
Yeah.
just I just like to
Yeah.
just be free, honestly. You know what I mean? And luckily enough, I work my ass off to be free when I want to be free. You know what I mean? It's a fine balance. You know what I mean? I want to be lazy sometimes, but if I do know I got to get something done, I knock it out and then I'll be lazy the next day.
Yeah. So one of the biggest I would say biggest books that you've had real success with is Hail Crow. Can you tell folks what Hail Crow is and how you came up with that?
So I wrote Hail Crow during the pandemic, man. I was depressed. Obviously, I couldn't go touring. I couldn't go to the studio and record. Uh I couldn't do anything. It's pointless, you know. Like, what am I gonna do? I literally can't do anything. I just sat in a little. I think pretty much everyone probably sat in a little depression there for a little bit, you know. So I was like, what can I do? I could write music, but who knows when I'll be able to actually go record it. So what, you know, what's kind of the point of that? Obviously, I did write music during that time, but then I was like, let's make another comic book, and you know, I kind of wanted to make it. At first, it was going to be realistic and real gritty and dark, and then I was like, I got that with the Sav, and I got that with Dead End. So let's do something that everyone can read and kind of embrace, and you know, even little kids can read it. There's like no cursing in it. I mean, there is some violence in it, but I just wanted something that everyone could enjoy. And it's about our little guy, Crow the Fallen. He's a I don't want to give too much away for anyone that hasn't read it, but he falls to hell, gets
Mhm.
amnesia, doesn't know why or how he got there, but knows he shouldn't be there, and so he tries to find the light in his way back to wherever the light leads.
Wow. Okay. So everybody, make sure you go cop. He has a booth, so go
Go
ahead and
read it.
buy
Go read it.
read it, read it, read it. Make sure you buy it. Worth the read. I actually own I forget which one is, but I have a metal cover one. I forgot to get it to you, so I'll have to come back and see you at another con to get you to
Yes,
sign
sir.
it. But
And stay tuned.
it,
We're actually wrapping up the next three issues for the mini series. So the next issue for it is pretty much done. We gotta letter it and then get it ready for Kickstarter, and then we're just gonna keep it rolling.
wow, that's amazing, man. So you fund all this yourself? Are you doing crowdfunding or is it
Yeah,
just
we
straight
do
up from?
crowdfunding.
Cool.
Yeah, it's our supporters that make it a reality. You know, the supporters and fans. You know, without them, none of this would be possible. Period.
Yeah, yeah, that's awesome. And how long does it take you to create an issue?
Just depends what else I have going on. You know what I mean? Like, if I, you know, sometimes I get bombarded with covers, so then I'm just like focused on knocking covers out and hitting deadlines. If I got time, I can usually knock a whole issue out. Writing it, I would say from start to beginning with edit, a month as far as the writing, and then I drop it to the artist. That can take some time, obviously, because they're not rushing it. So 3 to 6 months,
Wow.
you know, depending if they have cover work or whatever, you know, the interior artist. And so, you know, I try not to. I don't want to rush nothing. You know what I mean? Like I said, I like to flow. If I don't want something to feel like it was just shit it out. You know what I mean? I want to enjoy. I want to love it. You know what I mean? So,
Yeah.
you know, I
So
never
what's
rush.
your favorite piece of work that you've done?
No, that's hard.
And I hate
I
to
love them all for
minimize
different
that.
reasons. You
Yeah.
know, uh,
Yeah.
the salve, I love it because it's, you know, based on Native American folklore. I grew up on a Native American reservation, so that's like my baby. I love Hail Crow because everyone loves it and embraced it so heavily. So you know, I feel like it helped people kind of through after the pandemic. You know what I mean? Like, damn, I wasn't the only one that was feeling that way.
Mm.
And then Dead End, I just love it because it's like everything I loved in '80s and '90s action movies, and you know, aliens and just craziness. You know.
Yeah.
So I
So
love them all. I love all my anything I do. I have to love it if I'm going to drop it. You know, if it's something I don't love, I'm not going to drop it. You know.
yeah, and that's the beauty. I mean, you just really laid out a blueprint of self, basically reliance and making sure that you're your own boss. And so you can do stuff like that, then you probably are putting out stuff that doesn't feel like a deadline. I mean, you
Yeah.
have an internal deadline, but ultimately you get to produce what is top notch, what you think is the best of the best. So that's a really good testament to work ethic and also focus. So I'm sure you're getting tapped left and right to do all these other covers, but it's cool to, you remind me of Prince a little bit
I'll take it.
in that way, since
I'll
since
take
he
it.
was like, bump the labels. I'm gonna do my own thing. I'm
Yeah.
gonna do my
Yeah.
own print. So, that's a real commendable thing. A lot of folks can't do that. Or it's a scary thing, right?
Oh
So
yeah,
to
that's
be
what
able
I
to
think it
do
is too. Is for a lot of people, it's just scary. Like taking that leap. It is scary. Trust me, it's scary.
yeah,
You know what I mean? Not knowing if you'll be able to pay rent the next month, or if your car payment, if you'll have the money for the car payment. Honestly, you know what I'm saying?
yeah. So we were talking earlier with Rodney Barnes and Jason Sean Alexander, this
Love those
the
guys.
at the top. Those cats were hilarious. I thought I was on Def Comedy for a minute because Rodney was going in on Jason.
Rodney's the goat, yo.
Uh, yeah, he is. I mean, the stuff that he's done,
JSA too.
it-
I actually own some JSA original pieces.
do
It's one of
you?
my favorite artists. Yeah, I
Uh,
own some of his Spawn pieces, man.
yeah, his stuff is legendary, man. His stuff is just so it has just it has soul to it, and it's
Oh yeah,
rough
it's dark
and
and beautiful, man. That's why I love it.
God, that's why I love it too. But I was thinking, even in your legacy, thinking about what you've been able to accomplish, and also maybe some folks. When I was talking to Jason, I could tell he's like, "Why would Rodney want to work with me?" He's like accomplished left and right. And Rodney was like, "Dude, you're freaking amazing, right?" Who are some people that you still haven't tapped to be like, "Yo, can we work together?"
Obviously, the GOAT, Todd McFarlane, you know what I'm saying? And what's crazy is he doesn't live too far from me. I think one of these days, man, we'll probably just cross paths in like a grocery store and it'll happen. You know what I mean? I'm manifesting. You know what I mean? A
Do it.
natural meetup. You know what I'm saying? I don't want it to be at a con because obviously, at cons, some stuff will just go in one ear and out the other. You know what I mean? Especially someone like him where he's just head down signing hundreds and hundreds of stuff. It's like he might listen, but he might not remember.
Yeah, yeah.
So him, I would love to work with JSA. I'm gonna probably have him do a Hail Crow cover in the near future. Eric Powell, I love Eric Powell. Mike Mignola. Uh, yeah, there's a lot. I mean, there's legends.
It sounds like, as I was listening to that kind of like that medley of artists, that you have a certain you have a variety of styles that you like. How would you characterize your style?
I'm s- I I feel like I don't really have a style yet. You know what I mean? Like I'm still just trying to learn as much as I can. Like like during Heroes Con, I was having Johnny Desjardins teach me how to water paint. I'm just trying to learn it all, and then I'll
No.
figure it out. You know what I mean? I'm still young in this game, so I'm trying to just figure out. I guess I don't even know if I'll ever have a style. I'm just doing. I'm just making art. Whatever looks cool, whatever I feel like would be the best composition, I'm doing it.
Yeah.
Just
So
like music,
so
like I never like put myself into one thing with music. You know what I mean? Some of my stuff is crazy rock and roll, heavy metal
yep.
type rap. Some of it's straight street rap. Some of it's boom bap. Some of it's gangster. You know what I mean? It's just I never wanted to put myself in a box. You know what I mean? I just if I'm feeling it, if I'm feeling some way someday, then I'm gonna do it.
Yeah. And I think that's part of the success story of yours, right? You kind of you did what you like, what you felt was
Yeah.
authentic,
And I
right?
do like when
And
people have their own styles. You know what I mean? Like, and people can identify, like Scotty Young. It's a Scotty Young.
mhm. Yeah,
JSA. It's a JSA piece. Alex Ross. It's an Alex Ross piece. And
yeah,
I hope maybe eventually I'll figure out. I'll come up with something that no one's ever seen before, and then that'll be my style.
yeah. It's
Until
funny
then, I'm
that you
still
say,
learning. I'm a
uh,
student
y-
still.
yeah, and I don't think we ever stop, right? I think even listening to Jason Sean Alexander, he was like, "Yeah, I'm still learning. I'm still doing new things and learning." So, I guess that's how you stay hungry, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, always reminded of that.
And
That's
shit,
cool.
I'll start doing pottery, man. You know what I'm saying? Some clay statues. You know what I mean? I'm serious, man.
That's what's up. You'll be at a pottery con at some
I
point.
will, dude. I'll be like,
Yeah.
damn, he fell off, man. He was doing these covers, and then he just jumped into pottery. It's beautiful pottery, but you know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah. The pottery's going for about like $10,000 because it's a
We'll
work
take
of
it.
art, right?
We'll take
Yeah,
it.
we'll take. That's what I'm talking about. Well, sign me up for that. I'll do the payment plan for sure.
Yep, yep, yep. We're gonna get the first
um,
bowl.
So what motivates you? You know, I know family is big for you. What motivates you to be the best at what you're doing? Because you know, you just said something very interesting. You said, I'm still young, I'm still learning. And some people might look at you, especially young artists, and they might be like, dude, you're at the peak. You're like killing it right now.
Oh yeah, I'm
So
not. I feel like I'm nowhere near the peak of what I
wow,
think
that's
I'll
amazing.
be at. You know what I mean? It's a
Amazing.
climb, bro. You know, the mountain's steep. You know what I mean? I don't see
Yeah,
the top yet, so that's good. That's what
that's
really keeps
good.
me hungry. You know.
Stay hungry.
And
Well,
then family, of course. You know what I'm saying? Like, especially like if I do a cool piece and my kids are like, "Oh man, that's freaking sick." You know what I mean? I'm like, "Okay, that's cool." And then obviously, I'm a people person. I love being able to go out there and hang out with my supporters and meet new fans and just bullshit with everybody. You know.
yeah. What titles are you looking? What's next for you? What else is going on in that you can divulge,
I can
project wise?
divulge my first DC Comics piece is dropping at San Diego Comic Con, so it's hard to keep that one under
Wow,
wraps. You know what I mean? I just want to show everyone, but I still got to keep it under wraps until they announce it.
that's
So
amazing.
I feel like that's pretty big. My biggest cover of all time, and it's one of my favorite characters of all time. So I'm super stoked about that. And then yeah, we got like Kickstarters for Hail Crow coming soon. Kickstarter for another new book that I'm working on called Grim Gauge. Uh, the next issue of the Sav is gonna be dropping, I think, this fall.
Wow.
And then yeah, just working, grinding.
Are you doing any other besides the pottery, uh, possibly in the future? Somebody literally just wrote that would be a sick pottery piece.
Let's go.
Um, but what else? What else are you looking? I know the last time we saw you in Vegas, you were talking about possibly, you know, you would love to do movies or some
Oh
type of
yeah, I
animation
definitely want
or
to do
some,
that. It's just well, movies, man, it takes so much time and
yeah,
effort, and everyone got to be on the same page. I think right now, like I'm really pushing for this comic stuff, you know what I mean? And then like once I'm gonna have a DC cover, and then once I get a Marvel cover, I think I'll be able to take a break because people will be like, okay, he is now a serious artist. He's a big boy now. Then I'll be able to break. I have two horror movie scripts pretty much ready to go,
wow,
and I think if horror movies are pretty easy to do. You know what I mean? It doesn't take much. It's not very many special effects and stuff like that. So I got one. I think I'll be able to knock out probably pretty fast as far as the filming, and it's just really trying to find a place to drop it at, and because I don't know any of that movie
yeah.
world yet. You know what I mean? But I know people in it, so I'll just it's a lot of questions I got to ask.
Yeah, I was floored that somebody like Rodney Barnes got like 5 projects going on at the same time in the industry. And it to me, especially kind of that just seems insurmountable almost. But I guess when you have, you know, talent and people really wanting your stuff, you know, a high demand. I know that is gonna that is already happening to you on the comic book area. I'm excited for you actually. I remember when you said it out loud at Las Vegas, and you literally, I could feel that that's going to happen for you, especially whether it's your properties or you directing. I remember you saying you wanted to direct, and possibly, you know, again, be the Captain Kirk of the
Yeah,
enterprise. You know what I
yeah.
mean? So I'm excited for that. I wanted to see if there's any folks. Some folks got some questions up here. I got 2 questions. Uh, Keno said, and let me put it on stage. He said, "How you liking that Arizona summer?"
I am. It is hot. It's 112 degrees outside right now.
That's ridiculous.
I listen. I don't be sweating like crazy, but I literally filled up the GMC like half hour ago. I stepped out and my legs started sweating. I'm like, what the? This is weird. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Ain't no one want to
yeah.
have wet legs. What's going on here?
No, that's ungodly almost. I
It
mean,
is,
the
man.
fact that
Even
you
like
broke
the
out.
AC, man. Even the AC. I got a big old house, and so the AC it's still like doesn't do
So
it.
hot.
I'm
Uh,
used to living in a little tiny house where like you turn on the AC, the whole house turns into a fridge.
yeah. In Arizona, you need it. You need that
You
AC
do need it. We got
100%.
2 units. I'm about to cop another unit.
Well, stay cool, man. Make sure you get enough Rita's water ice or whatever type of internal regulation that you can
I
meet.
need it.
All right, next question is, what do you enjoy more, music or comic creation? You kind of
Uh,
answered this, you know.
it's all art to me, you know. Like it's just where one stops, the other one begins, and where that one stops, the other one begins. So like some days I'm feeling let's make a song. Some days I'm feeling let's finish a script, you know. So
Yeah,
it just all flows. Obviously, I'll tell you, performing live is probably the biggest rush that I get in life. You know what I mean? Like it's something you can't even explain when you got, you know, 1,000 people in the crowd just moving their arms and rocking with you. It's absolutely crazy. But then it's also crazy when you drop a book and everyone gets the packages and they're reading it, and then you're getting a 100 emails like, man, this was great, this is brilliant, this is, you know what I mean. So it's a win-win in every situation, I feel.
yes, sir. Now I will say I want to thank you because every time I'm on Whatnot or I'm on a show or something, everybody always asks me, "What's that Puerto Rican Miles Morales? Would you get it?" And I know that sucker is hard to get a hold of. So I got it signed from you last time, and somebody tried to literally buy it from me, and I was like, "Hell no, this definitely is not going anywhere." But have you thought of doing something, if you know, something like that to kind of expand upon maybe like the diversity piece that you were talking about, where people might see themselves in Miles Morales who are black and brown and might want their to rep their flag in the background or something like that?
I should. I just my whole thing was like, uh, I think it was like New York before the year before I dropped that. You know, I was noticing there's a lot of Puerto Ricans grabbing comic books and stuff, and I'm like, you know, I feel like people don't even realize Miles is part Puerto Rican. You know what I mean? And so I was just like, man,
Yeah.
we gotta represent for the homies out there.
Yeah, that piece was amazing. And yeah, I hadn't seen anybody do that. And you're right, a lot of people don't realize he's Afro Caribbean, Afro Latino, and so yeah, that's something that I love that came through in that rendition. I actually use it for my shows all the time,
Okay.
and people always think that they're gonna buy it from me, and I'm like, no, not for sale. Well, listen, I know your time is precious. I want to make sure that we have all the answers. Oh, we got one more question. Here we go. What's your most difficult character to draw, and what's the easiest in your opinion?
For me, females drawing females is because you know if you do too much, then they look old or haggard. You know what I'm saying? And if you do too less, then they look too young. So females is that's why I stick to drawing cool, badass dudes and you know what I mean, bloody
Yeah,
stuff and monsters. You know what I mean? So that definitely that kind of stuff is my favorite stuff. And yeah, females are just you know it's just there's plenty of geniuses at drawing females out there.
yeah, yeah.
So I'll let them have that.
As far as the medium's concerned, where do you want to go next?
Uh, Pottery.
Pottery.
No, I'm just
Yes, sir.
playing. Probably oil. I want to try oil painting. I don't know. You know, you might never see my first couple pieces doing oil painting, but I'm gonna try it.
That's
Uh,
dope.
you know, just to get some you know sketch covers and stuff are cool. You know what I mean? But I want to get some like actual pieces out there and museum quality stuff. You know?
Big canvases, yeah.
Yeah,
You know what? I would love to see your charcoal game. I think that you would kill the charcoal game for sure.
I don't even. I've never even messed with charcoal.
Word? Oh
Yeah.
gosh, it's probably my favorite medium. You just get you
Charcoal.
charcoal
Actually,
the
I have. I
whole.
did when I went to college. Man, they were we did like speed drawings with charcoal.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm gonna. I
we used
wanna.
to we used to do the whole page in black charcoal, the whole thing in black, and then use the erasers to do all the light parts,
That's
and
dope.
then spray the fixative on it so it wouldn't
That's
move
dope.
anywhere. But it was crazy, crazy cool. So the keynotes, you got the last question. He says, when is your next signing at Surprise Comics?
I wanted to go for
That's
free
so
comic book
specific.
day. I know that's super specific. I wanted to go for free comic book day, but I had something else going on. What something else was that weekend? Maybe it was it C2E2 maybe that weekend or something. Something else was going on, so I wasn't able to hit it. So I don't know. Whenever they tell me to come sign, I'll be there. Yeah.
Thanks, brother. You have a great one. Peace.
Peace. Stay up, everyone. Much love.